Elmer Borlongan, real name Elmer Mesa Borlongan, is a well-known contemporary Filipino painter known for his use of figurative expressionism. His work is one of the most widely exhibited and most sought after at auction among Southeast Asian artists. Elmer Borlongan is a Filipino artist. Her painting also refers to the Filipino culture and always sketch a local urban life, which reflects the imperfectionism of the world. Borlongan's artwork is the most favorite of some collectors at auction, and the first major artwork that he did was The Regimen in 1988. In creating this art, he used bold brushwork to utilize the Marlboro emblem. This artwork represents the Filipino people that are living in a ground with no ambition to move forward. In February 2018, Elmer Borlongan celebrated a retrospect of 25 years in art. The Metropolitan Museum of Manila is displaying his 150 paintings and 50 drawings. The next of his painting was Josephine Bracken. An Irish girl is the last of Rizal lovers. She is the adopted daughter of George Stauffer, one of Rizal's patients, while in Dapitan. Their love affair was such a controversy as no priest wanted to give blessing to their union. Moreover, Rizal did not approve of Josephine. Nevertheless, the two continued the relationship until Rizal's death. In my perspective, this artwork shows Rizal's lover, Josephine. It is also part of our history but a lot of controversy on her. The artwork shows the beauty of a woman which is part of Jose P. Rizal love story. And the other masterpiece of Elmer Borlongan was the Gombursa. The three priests from University of Santo Tomas, namely Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, questioned and fought against Spanish religious dominance in the country. They championed the right of native priests be assigned in parishes ahead of those friars who had just arrived from Spain. Because of their work, they were executed in 1872. Their deaths helped fuel the Philippine Revolution against the Spain. My perspective about this painting, where it is a very great masterpiece of art, I believe Elmer drew this because it is one of the important part of our Philippine history that opens the eye of the Filipinos to revolt against the Spanish occupation here in our country. The artwork shows the death of the three priests that executed in the way of Garrot or Garrote.
The Happiest Place on the Earth, 2017, Elmer Borlongan painting. This work is distinguished by a preference for stylish figuration and an eccentric iconography that includes bald heads, big eyes, and extended limbs. He depicts his people in a basic figure background arrangement that acts as a visual strategy to emphasize their character style. Borlongan's paintings have also shifted from depiction of life in the city to images of individuals seen on highways as walkers, travelers, or merchants, and of modest fisher folk living basic existence enhanced by religious ceremonies. Spectacles of amusement, strings of labor, and enchantments of place. My perspective on Elmer Berlong's painting is amazing because you can see the colors used here to attract attention, just like the Jollibee in the picture. And at first glance, you will immediately know the meaning of this painting, where Borlongan showed or used his experience when he was in Manila. For example, here in this photo, you can see a person from the province who went to Manila to work there, where life in the province is different than life in Manila. Puppet Master 2005 Elmer Borlongan painting. This piece is a combination of stylized expressionist characters set against the most minimum of backdrops, emphasizing a concise narrative. His paintings frequently portray stories about survival, tenacity, lighthearted fatalism, and people's humorous wants as they navigate the complexities of a post-industrial society with the hangover from centuries of imperial colonialism and neo-colonialism. In this artwork, a puppet master is attempting to make a life as a street performer. In this painting, we see a man using a puppet to attract the attention of others and earn money. What Borlongan wants to express in these paintings is consistency in what he does, and he also illustrates the value of survival in a person's life. Borlongan demonstrated this experience in Manila, such as being consistent in things like painting, where he simply keeps creating artworks to give. In terms of survival, we can see in the artwork that no matter how complex and complicated people are, they can still perform since it is the only way they can survive.
Brother shares, 1993. In street and colloquial parlance, the term ating kapatid means an equal share among those who need the same thing, whether it is an object to be borrowed or food to be shared or space to be occupied. Elmer Borlongan, having born and raised in Manila urban inner cities, knows to observe this concept operates in the everyday life of the Filipino. In this painting, he represents two children sharing the bench as a bed to sleep on, each curling up to make use of the space they can share, equally of course, making the most of what they can, even in very inches of a wooden board. As is evident in many of his works in 1990s, Borlongan's portrayal is one of amused hilarity over the sheer ingenuity of Filipino resilience. While this work shows the problem of lack of proper shelter, it does not take away from humor of its absurdity and equal surprising mirth of its solution. For me, this artwork shows heartwarming trait of a Filipino that a brother shares everything to his younger brother or sisters. It shows here that Filipino traits are kind and brothers will always compromise for their loved ones. Shelter, 1993. With a face and bodily proportions stretched out like figure of Edvard Munch, The Scream, Elmer Borlongan, painting of child sleeping in dimly lit corner on bare concrete floor, possessed the forbidding drama that is where an artist of war. The single source of light casts a long shadow of post that runs across the feet of a dormant boy, like an ominous presence that watches over his slumber. Yet, his palm has pillow and other nestled for warmth between his knees. Our sleeper is unaware, almost dead to everything else in the world. And it sleep of extreme exhaustion from going through days worth of work, or of endless mindering and seeking alms and food. It is the sleep of an animal that has run out of energy to scrounge and is content to find the darkest, most secure place it can find a shelter. For me, this artwork shows the widespread dilemma on the Philippines, which is poverty. That showcases poor people that lives on the street, and it shows how we are blessed on the food and the house that we sleep in.
The next artwork is Gabay by Eman Aberlong. Gabay is a formerly in the care of screenwriter Enrico Santos, is now part of the famous collector Pauline Q's crown jewels. Emong tried to replicate in this painting a scene he had witnessed while inside a bus along EDSA. It looked like an appreciation. The artist recalled Then I realized it was just a statue. It was so lifelike. He just injected the little details. A rosary he saw in his father's car that now to look in the driver's face. It's a suspicious his seatmate was up to no good. This was also the painting Polipata saw on the glass window while walking in the Mega Mall one day in '94. The same painting that made her want to meet the artist behind it, the artist she would later marry. In my own perspective on this painting, for me the painting have a spooky meaning and have a sentimental value to a person that created this. For me, the painting have a relation or connection to a higher being that living somewhere. On the left side of the painting, for me, this represents a guardian angel that keep watching us and guarding us. And on the right side of the painting, or the man that driving the car, My perspective on him, I think he literally confused about on what he see. Since in our real world, some of the unexplainable things that we are the only one who can see are very confusing, just like to the person that we can see in the painting. Painting is humor. The next painting is humor. Elmer Borlongan is a Filipino artist best known for his figurative expressionism. Kumot is one among his many distinct arts that reflects the reality of Filipino people. This piece shows a child using his skirt as a blanket. It was influenced by a street kid in Cubao overpass. I chose Kumot because aside from the thoughts that it's something I can try to paint, the image of a child stuck with me. The lights around the child radiates a present in a surrounding where they are often ignored. I also realized the gravity of using a shirt as a blanket. I think it represents the little piece of home, protection, warmth, and comfort that street children have. I understand that the shirt is far from those I mentioned, but it is what they have and extremely disturbing. In my own perspective, for me, this art is about a homeless child that was left by a family or a child that sees the reality of the world. In this painting, such as a homeless kid that was abandoned by his own mother due to the difficulty of life. We all know that living in the Philippines is a mess since so many homeless people that we can see on the street don't have any direction in life. Since they don't have any power or things that they need to start again, this painting represents a homeless that we can see in the Philippines, especially those children that we can see on the Manila Bridge. The painting spoke many words about reality, realization, about what is happening in our nation. So, keep the blanket around your body to hide your feelings and to unsee the reality of the Philippines.
This art is from Elmer Borlongan. The title of art is Sundo. This piece from his second one-man show God Bless Our Trip is important because a particular Ben Cabrera purchased it. He recently confirmed to the Inquirer, I was overjoyed. An artist whose work I appreciated had purchased one of my pieces. It gave me a sense of approval. In my own perspective, in this painting from Elmer Borlongan's title is Sundo. This art is simple, but this is having a story from herself while he's driving or he's the one in the sidecar. I think he was probably happy with what he was doing, picking up the two people in the picture because it involved wandering around while he was driving and they were happy while talking about something. So maybe they were blessed with a good trip while they were driving. This art is from Elmer Borlongan. The title of art is The Gardeners. The Gardeners won honorable mention in YMCA Arts Competition in 1979. The year that among claims high students were permitted to enter the college category. One of Emong's favorite painting, Bottom Francisco, who unfinished Camote Diggers, piece served as the inspiration for the style and even the image. The Francisco painting include two male characters planting with their heads down just like this Borlongan picture. In my own perspective for this artist, the two man is planting a kamote while her head is down and while they labor to dig the ground to plant the kamote. This art is so very styling in having connected in life. Then for me, maybe he can draw it because this is what he experienced when he was young and he made it to present at the YMCA art competition. That's all. Thank you for listening in my discussion. Thank you.